Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Can Blue, a hockey podcast covering the Rangers and the Montreal Canadiens. I'm your host on the Rangers.
Host on the Habs side. Got some big news this week.
Yeah, we're back after a short week-long break or so.
Olympics started, but not for hockey yet.
Opening ceremony started. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw Draisaitl and
some of the
bunch of
flag
those
bearers
guys.
from the NHL.
No Canadian folk there.
Yeah.
Were the U.S. team there?
Yeah, some of them. Some of them went early. I think I saw Werenski there or something.
I think he's wearing Gaudreau's number. I think
probably.
I saw.
Makes sense. The opening ceremony was like they had Andrea Bocelli like singing crazy.
Nice.
You know, the whole Italian thing was cool. I'm just delaying talking about it. But
the elephant in the room.
Yeah, I mean, all right. Obviously, Rangers. I think results at this point don't matter. Like they matter as long as you lose and you still remain bottom of the league. That matters because I think they're really targeting a top 4 pick. Overall in the next coming draft. There's a lot of guys they like. We'll probably do a draft breakdown when we get closer to the summer, but like obviously there's guys like Tynan Lawrence, Gavin McKenna's the biggest one, Stenberg, and then I think there's one more that are consensus top 5 guys. So maybe who knows, it'll be a good year for a top 5 pick to come through, but it really comes down to development from there, and God knows the Rangers have sucked at that.
Top 5 picks are really good though. Like
it is.
They're
We've
a good
had 2
position
though,
to be
and
in.
they haven't really panned out in the last 5 years.
Yeah, well, those guys, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a Reinbacher at 6.
Yeah,
that still hasn't panned out yet, no. But I guess defensemen take longer, and also we have a backlog of defensemen playing, so maybe give it another year or 2, otherwise it's a bust. So
yeah, I think it's going that way. All right.
It's why. Well, I guess he's an injury.
It's just
prone.
like he hasn't played. He's a top guy. Like
he was projected to be top 4 defenseman.
Hasn't really done anything for you, and it's been
right.
however many years, right? So
yeah, we'll see. I still have hope for him.
Artemi Panarin. This is a farewell episode, and like it's tough to put into words because he's like the best player that the Rangers had. And he's the best Ranger. He's the best non-goalie Ranger that I've ever seen. Right? And
of this century, he was the best Ranger.
Like of the
millennia.
Yeah.
The millennia.
Yeah. I mean, you have guys like Jágr played in the 2000s, right? But
Panarin, yeah,
never really like Jágr is obviously in his own class, and like he was on so many different teams and he played for so long. Like Jágr's up there, but I was pretty young when he was playing. So Panarin was the guy who like he came in, he was like this fun, happy-go-lucky guy with the big hair, and he had a fun name like Breadman, and he would do things like he'd score a sweet like stick handling move goal, and then he'd do his leg kick. If you remember that a couple years ago, his Selly was the leg kick. He would do things before the game where he would just like do cool moves, and then it seemed like, he was very, even though he didn't talk a lot to fans because claims that he can't speak English, which we know is a lie.
He was your skilled franchise player.
Yeah. And
full
like,
stop.
There was not a lot of, but there was some negativity around him as far as like, there was a couple years ago, his family was like in trouble in Russia. And like that, he got framed. There was a hit piece put out by Putin, and he had to take a step away from the team. This was like 21 or something, or 2020 even. So like that was that. There's been this like little fog around him like that a couple times, and then obviously last year there was the sexual assault allegation that came against him, and it was kind of like quietly settled, and they didn't really let out what had happened past a couple of details. So what sucks is like that is going to remain in our minds now that like, nothing else has really like come of it except for him like coming in, being this prolific scorer, amazing player, seemed to be fun. It just seemed like as the years were going on, these other kind of bad things were getting in the mix. But if we take that away, he's still the best free agent signing that the Rangers have ever had, and he was a player that was like fun to watch, and a player that made the team better, a player that fans would go to the Garden to see play. And it's difficult to imagine the team without him. I mean, we've seen it the last week without him playing games, and it does not look good. So I don't know the path forward, right? Because we're on a retool. That's the goal. But when you get rid of your best player for not a lot back, like, what is the next move? And so I'm gonna get your thoughts because you had some pretty strong thoughts against Drury and the trade and everything. Some of which is merited, some of which is like, I personally just think you can't judge it until all the dominoes fall because
Well, I think I'm with most Ranger fans that when they see
I think
this
most
trade.
I think the Ranger fans that are like the most reactionary to moves Drury makes are like need to chill the fuck out. Honestly.
Really?
Yeah, because
I,
like,
th-
all right,
but
so last year the whole thing is so hypocritical. Last year they were just like, wow, he was way too brutal and like in the shadows with how he handled Goodrow and Truba, and now no one's gonna want to come to the Rangers and play because they know that Chris Drury is just like a savage and will drop you if he doesn't want you on the team, even like to get around the contract. And now this year, he's realizing like, you know what, that's not the best way to conduct business because not that people aren't going to want to play in New York, but because like you want to have a good relationship with players and like players want to come play for you and know that you're going to be taken care of. So that starts off with the Carson Soucy deal. He moves Carson Soucy in a rare trade to the Islanders. You don't usually do trades like that so close to each other in the division, but it's because he just had like a young child, and we knew wanted to trade him. We got an asset back, and Soucy didn't have to like move and uproot his whole life. Like he just has to go, whatever, in a different direction to get to the rink, a
right,
different rink, but
yeah,
close by. So like that's one good step, different from what we're seeing Drury do last year. And then, he was very forthcoming and upfront with what the plans are going to be after that loss to Boston with the letter 2.0 that we talked about and read, and with telling Panarin, like, for the contract that you want, this is not happening. Like, we're not doing 5 years by 12 million or whatever the number was. And, we need to shake things up. And he's still kind of cleaning up his mess from last year, 2 years ago, with getting rid of some of those other guys like Truba, Kako, Lindgren, all those guys. But he's going about it in a different way, which to me sounds like growth. But your point, I think, when I'll let you go, is like he probably hurt the asset that he could have gotten back by being so upfront, which I have thoughts on, but I want to hear your
well,
take.
I mean, the shadow stuff that he did last year, obviously that is business like that you should not be conducting in such a way. That's like bad for sure. But to go the opposite end and like not necessarily capitulate to the player and like their needs, but to be so like vocal about announcing your trades and like availability. And maybe it's just because Montreal hasn't gone through this recently. Maybe it would come out the same way.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, it just feels weird when you like when I think about, let's say we're in a situation like, and then Ken Hughes announces, all right, Caulfield's available, Suzuki's available. That would just like dishearten not only just the fans, but just like obviously give leverage to everyone else, just like, I don't know. I feel like once you got a deal in the works, like, then announce it. I don't know. When it comes to franchise players, you got to be careful. Um, it's like, and as you said, as you preface this whole conversation, like it is the best Rangers free agency signing, Artemi Panarin, in decades, and if not ever. And you gotta be like, even though he wants out and he's not signed, we all know that he's not signing at whatever $50 million contract he was going to sign with the Rangers. You gotta play it carefully. And
So,
while like I think there's a way to strike the line of respecting where the player wants to go. Yeah, we're respecting no move clause,
well, you
and
have to.
also
You have to. Like,
you have to.
you see what happened when you don't respect that. The Ottawa Senators lost their first round pick
Right.
because they sent some guy to, was it Dorfeev or
Was it Dort?
it was someone to Vegas without, and Vegas was on his no move. And they just sent him
Oh,
there anyway, and they didn't realize. Or it was something like they sent him to Vegas, didn't disclose in the move that he had a no move.
right.
So it basically was like Vegas was getting a player that was a little bit less shoppable than they thought. And so they lost a first round pick for it. That's just like negligence, right? But I wanna propose something to you.
But
So,
just even with the no move clause,
okay.
I think there's still leverage for the Rangers organization because it's Artemi Panarin,
Why?
because he is your franchise scorer.
But how? How do you move him if you contractually can't move him?
I mean, LA couldn't have been the only
No,
place, like the only place he would go. Was
the
LA?
so I think 5 to 6 teams had offers on the table, but his big thing was that he wants an extension. He wants a little bit more like guaranteed money, and it was clear he wanted a specific type of
Okay,
location,
does
right?
the no
Because
move clause also include I need a guaranteed signing?
no, but he doesn't have to waive it if he doesn't get that.
So you see, that's when you kind of have to look out for yourself.
You are
a
totally
bit.
handcuffed
Like you respect the no move
as the
clause, but
Rangers.
you also, I don't know, like, yeah, it is a bit of handcuffy situation. I do see it now when looking back, but
The problem is, right, like if you have your top player and at some point when you extend him, you give him a full no move. You're expecting I'm never going to want to move this player because he's that
yeah,
good. He's going to keep us in contention. And by all accounts, right? Like, yeah, you got rid of like a fourth line guy in Barclay Goodrow. You got rid of your captain in Truba, who had been playing not that great for you, and you bring in just like a different voice. If you get rid of the human element of it, the team on paper, when all healthy, was not substantially worse than the team that won the President's Trophy.
right, okay,
But like before you start moving all these pieces, right? So like all right, you move Kako, you get back a defender in Will Borgen, right? So like that makes you better at defense because that you were lacking. So you're thinking, okay, that's kind of that's I'm just gonna say every move up until the Kreider move because Kreider, like you didn't really get anything back for that. You got some draft picks, but like and a prospect that hasn't really been playing. So it's just like you didn't totally gut the roster. You got rid of some core players, but like I said, on paper it wasn't that much worse. The problem is when the human element comes into play, you just like scorched earth that locker room. You got rid of probably the two biggest voices, your captain and Barclay Goodrow, who clearly had like a massive impact on the locker room.
yeah.
And what sucks is like, what does that say about the locker room if you get rid of one guy and it just collapses?
And
It
it continues to
probably
happen even if you
right.
get rid of him. Yeah,
So like, it's I could see. I mean, and it's not like Drury gave Panarin this contract last year. Obviously, he's in the last year of his deal when that he signed. But it's just like you don't expect to have to make those decisions to get rid of a player that has a full no move in his contract year, unless you have to really
also, did you
take
have
a
to trade
look.
him?
Did we
Like,
have to trade him?
was it 100%?
So
Like, we
okay,
need to trade
so this
him.
is like where this is the meat of it, right? So they decided we've run it back with this core so many times, and our ceiling is the Eastern Conference Final. We meet a good Florida team, either one, right? In the Eastern
Florida's not
Conference
making it.
Final, Florida or Tampa, I'm saying though. Like
Oh
we
yeah,
meet one of
yeah,
those teams
yeah.
in the Eastern Conference Final, and we don't have any gas, and like we win a couple games, and then we fall apart, and something at the core has to change. and it's just like they were trying to do it kind of on the fly last year, getting rid of Truba, getting rid of Kako, moving on from Kreider, but it's just like it's obviously not good enough, and they're trying to have a new type of culture, and they just felt like the type of player that Panarin was. I'm like
Wasn't
trying.
fitting it.
I'm trying to think through like their thought process because
But
they
that's why you
say
don't
that
announce
they
it.
say that, but then they also say we need to get players that have skill
Right.
and can
This what
score,
this but
and it's
like
like that was the player you just got rid of.
this is why you don't announce it, because I think there was a possibility where you actually keep him and you sign for that 2 years, whatever, maybe
Well,
not
because he
11 million,
signed. So
but
this,
like
yeah,
13, 14 million,
this
2 years.
this is the other annoying thing. So like early in the season, they went to him and said, "Will you take a Kopitar type deal, which is like 8 million? So it's like a $3 or $4 million bump down
But you
for
would have
him."
done 2 by 11.
I feel like we would have. That's why I'm just like
Yeah.
don't understand why. Like, so he went. You got a prospect back who you
And then he
grade
signs
pretty highly.
immediately to 11.
Well, that was pre
Yeah, I know,
discussed, but it's just like okay, so Rangers didn't want to do 4 years. I understand he's 34, 35, but 2 years with like a little bit less than what he's like getting paid now. I just feel like that's something that you would think about and talk
So
about. But
my
they were
hypothesis
dead set
is
in getting rid of
yeah,
him.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
They were dead set,
Yeah.
and actually announcing it publicly made it even more dead set that they're getting rid of him. That's why
Which I don't like. I don't mind that if that's your like. They are staying true to their beliefs, right? Like they are saying,
Sure.
this is our way forward. We do not see a path forward with Panarin. We don't want this to just linger and then be up in the air. So we are going to trade him. Like this is happening, and we're not going to risk losing him for nothing. Like even getting back the guy like Liam Greentree and a third conditional pick, right? Like that is more than you would get if he just walked in the offseason. You were like, yeah, we'll figure it out later, and then all of a sudden
That's
you lose
true,
him
that's
for
true.
nothing.
Well, that's why you get it done at the beginning of the year or middle of the season.
Well, yeah, but it was
And if you can't get it done in the middle of the season, then you do trade him.
It was just clear that he wanted more money than the Rangers wanted to give him. They were too far apart in term and in dollar value. And like I think the Rangers were probably hoping like, oh, maybe he'll come back to us and saying, I won't take 8, but I'll take 9 or 10, and then they could have something to work with here. But and no fault of his own, I don't blame him at all. Like he clearly valued the money a little bit more than staying in New York, and so like that pushed him out.
Yeah, I'm so happy that we have some players that, more than some core players, that taking a discount, because like there was this whole drama with Lane Hudson, like, signing, and
Yeah.
like, oh, there were feelings hurt, but it turned out to be completely false, and he signs for 8.85 million.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think
and he deserves more. I actually kind of feel bad that he didn't take more. That's a little hot take.
No, because I think that the key though is like he's in his second year. So
Yeah.
I think the argument against that would be you had a great first year. We know it's not a fluke, but like we're not just willing to pay you 13 million every year now.
Right.
Like you need to keep doing it, and then guess what? If it's a 7 or 8 year deal, you'll be in your prime for your next contract, and the cap will be up. You'll get 15 million.
Right.
And it also helps us win
yeah.
now. Like so, it kind of works for all parties for the
That's
lane.
true. That's true.
But it's just
And then Panarin's older, and
he's older.
yeah,
He wants it's like he went into these contract negotiations with this is hopefully going to be my last contract that I'll have to deal with. And if it's 5 years,
he'll play
heavy
after the
loaded.
2 years.
No, I think he will. But he did say, and maybe he's just holding this as like, don't move me again. He said if he didn't sign with LA, he would have just probably gone back to Russia.
Really?
Because the only places he wanted to go was Florida, which couldn't do it with the numbers, stay in New York, which didn't want to do it, and LA, which they got him down to 2 years.
That's a bit weird. I would not stay in LA.
I think he just wants the bigger, like more known cities. I think he wants.
I guess so.
There's a type of
none in Canada for him probably.
Not. Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, so I don't know. I would want to win a cup if I were him. So
I mean, I think
Dallas.
he was considering like Dallas and Colorado, but
Like they're
he
not
just
gonna
didn't. He
make the
didn't want to
playoffs.
move and then move
LA
again.
is not gonna make the
So
playoffs potentially.
I just think like it's. I don't love how everything shook out. I understand what you're saying. Like, how do you maximize the value even more? But when ultimately the player, like, so this is another thing. Seattle came to the Rangers with a 14 by 4 by
Contract.
4-year contract, which is, that gets you to over your 50 mark, right? That gets you to 52 million. And Panarin literally turned it down. So clearly it's not just about the money. It is about the location and the money. I do believe just makes sense based on all the conversations that were going on that like Shane Wright would have been back in that deal. And it probably would have been like Shane Wright and probably a similar like conditional third. And like when you look at that, how different is that from Liam Greentree and a conditional third?
Well, we already know like kind of Shane Wright's personality and stuff.
Do we
Actually
you are so negative on him because of like
I'm
the whole
still
draft
negative
thing?
on
Yeah,
him.
but how do you know his personality? You don't know. You're just
no.
going off of like one instance.
Just look at his show, like in the actual game itself. I mean, he's pretty underperforming, and he's getting ice time. So yeah, like he should be a core piece in Seattle, but he isn't.
They're also Seattle's shopping Beniers too. See that?
Oh yeah, like
That's
that.
crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
They are. I mean, I don't. So for as far as that goes too, I don't blame Panarin for not wanting to go there. Like,
Yeah, they're rebuilding basically. Like
I
or
mean,
like
they've been rebuilding since
yeah,
they made the
don't
playoff like once, right?
did they ever
I
make
think
the
they did.
playoffs?
I think they did.
Wow, okay. That's surprising to me.
Maybe 1 year, last year, 2 years ago.
But do you want to talk about Liam Greentree?
Yes. So, all right. So the return, once he says, "Okay, I'm gonna go there," that's the only place that I'll accept. It's a conditional third, so it becomes a second round pick if they win one round of the playoffs. Which is like, even though we don't think very highly of the Kings, it's not that implausible. If they make
They're
it in,
not getting
they can
past
win
Edmonton.
Okay. Well, whoever they play, you don't know who they're playing. It's possible if they could win a round, that could becomes a second. Great. There's another like conditional fourth if they like make it to the cup or something. It's like, yeah, right.
I think
That's fine.
this may be crazy, but I think the Kings play like the most boring hockey in the NHL. It's just like it's such a snooze fest.
So you say that until Panarin's there, and then you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So like, think about like the Islanders were one of the most boring teams forever. They got Schaefer all of a sudden.
True.
It's like, oh
That's
wow.
True.
And now their goalie's playing better, and now they're
Again, you need an injection of youth to make your team fun.
I mean, Kempe,
and maybe
Laferriere, Byfield. Now they have Kopitar and Panarin.
Adrian Kempe.
Yeah, Kempe. I said Kempe.
Oh yeah.
Like they have some youth there. I always felt like
they slowed down a bit though.
I always felt like the Kings are underperforming, meaning like they could perform better,
Who's
but
their
they've
goalie?
been underperforming. Is it Phoenix Copley?
I think so.
Darcy Kemper, is he there too?
I think he was injured though, right?
Maybe.
But Byfield took a step back this year. Even Kempe. I mean,
Kempe got the bag this year though.
Yeah, he did because he is a really good player.
Is Iafallo there? Or?
I think he's Winnipeg now.
They traded him there.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I don't love I mean, this just brings back shades of like Marian Gaborik because I'm pretty sure we traded him to the Kings back in the day. And he was our like top line winger that would snipe. That was from an Eastern European country. It was just like it's a funny like
I like Gaborik
connection. And he was number 10 too. Oh my god.
There's
so many.
There you go.
Okay, so it'll be interesting. I really wish I could. Well, I don't want to watch Ranger hockey right now. It's horrible. I've kind of been avoiding it, to be honest.
You should watch Habs hockey.
I don't want to do that because that'll make you happy. No, but like the problem that I have right now, and then I'll go into Liam Greentree. I know I'm procrastinating a little bit. The problem I have with the Rangers right now is like when you declare a rebuild, usually you'll have young pieces that you're like, all right, let's see what we got in you. Let's see what we got in you.
No, but they didn't declare a rebuild.
Well, rebuild, retool, whatever. But like the team that they're putting out there is just not fun to watch at all. And
I don't envy
they
you.
picked up they picked up Vincent Iorio from the Sharks. He's a 23 or 24-year-old like big right-handed defenseman.
Okay.
And
to replace Susie.
Yeah,
basically.
and probably to replace a couple other guys too, to be honest. But so they got him in the lineup, but that took Scott Morrow out of the lineup, and it's just like, okay, you have these like vet guys that haven't been playing that well, like Vakanainen. Why don't you just play both of the kids? If they're younger and you know want to see your long term plan, you're probably not re-signing Vakanainen. Like, get those guys in, and then they scratched Brennan Othman again too. It's like, what is the point of that? I just don't get some of the decision making there, and then it's
People
like
are worried that Green Tree might be like Othman. That's why there's also skepticism.
he's bigger though.
Yeah, he's bigger, puts up more points. Othman was a point per game in the OHL.
He had like 50 something goals in the OHL.
Wow.
Yeah. He was like leading the pack there. So Liam Greentree, that was kind of all over the place. We jumped everywhere, but
but you
Liam
should
Greentree.
inject at this point, play the young guys, scratch the old, or scratch.
They
people
are to
that
some
not
extent,
cutting it.
but it's just like I don't know the full.
Keep playing Perot. Like he's your hope.
Perot's up there.
Perot is your hope.
Perot's stapled on the first line. I think
Just like Suzuki and Caulfield in
Yeah.
our rebuild,
Yeah.
they were my hope in terms of watching. Like they were the only guys I was watching. Everyone else was just like,
What I'll
whatever.
be interested in, right, if they get a top 3 pick and then they bring over this guy Liam Greentree next year, because I think a big thing for that prospect is like he didn't have a great path to the NHL with the Kings just because there was a lot of like backup, and now that we're
Yeah.
kind of clearing out, it paves the way for him to make
you can make it next
the
year.
team next year, or
Yeah.
like at least get a shot at it. So then if you're putting out a lineup with your top 6 or top 9 even that has, you'll still have like Zibanejad and Miller, but then you have Perot, Greentree, and then like add in McKenna or one of these top 5 picks.
Well, there's your youth.
That will be fun,
yeah,
but until
would
that
be
happens,
fun, yeah.
until that happens, the rest of the year is gonna suck. We're gonna lose 90% of our games. And
I have a
Shesterkin's
feeling
not even
though.
playing.
I have
Fox
a feeling
isn't even
though,
playing.
like you guys are gonna get an amazing pick. So like I'm not worried about you guys. Like you're gonna. It's not like you're gonna rebuild and turn it around in 1 year, but you're gonna have a couple exciting pieces to look forward about. I think. Look forward to.
Yeah. So Liam Greentree, he is on the Windsor. He's a captain of the Windsor Spitfires. He just had his like 306th or 7th point, and he joins the company of the likes of Nick Suzuki, Mitch Marner, John Tavares, with having over 300 points in the OHL. I think there's a list of like 20 players that have done that, but like joining that company, it's a good start. It obviously, we've seen this
encouraging,
before.
yeah.
Like there's every year you have to keep that development, and that's something the Rangers have really struggled with their just like inner club development. What I like about the kid is like he's over 6 foot, he's over 200 pounds, he's a heavy right winger. We don't have a ton of right wing depth. Obviously, a center would have been probably nice to have, but you're getting a guy.
No, a heavy winger.
that has
trust
a
me.
little,
Like that's what Slav is.
yeah.
Like it's he's really helpful, and I think that's what people are going to go for nowadays. Honestly. Like,
Yeah, I mean that like you want a guy that has skill and that can shoot, and like I think the knock on him which I don't always trust these, like there's prospect rankings and it's like above average this, below
Yeah, I
average
don't.
this.
Yeah,
They're like, yeah, he's
kinda-
an average to below average skater, and it's like great. First of all, the Rangers don't need that; they need speed. They don't have any speed, but like you can't really trust that. They said that Gabe was a below average skater, and hasn't looked like he's getting blown by guys. Like I
Yeah.
think if you're a mental guy and you are big and you have the shot and the selection of like what your decision making is, like that translates well, and you can kind of work on getting faster or whatever. So there's positives. I'm definitely talking myself into liking this guy Greentree. You kind of have to at this point because you didn't have any other option. But I think like the rest of the season's unfortunately a wash. Like you don't really get to enjoy what's going on because even if they win, there's a little bit of a twinge in the back of your head. Like, damn, they keep winning. You're not going to get a good pick, and you need that good pick.
Yep.
So
Yep. You do.
that brings us to like the next stage, which will be obviously Olympics, which we'll talk about. I'm excited about. But after the Olympics,
I'm not excited that JT Miller and Trocheck made
you
the
won't
team.
see it, dude. They won't be out there.
I'm pretty sure
They'll be grocery
JT
sticks.
is in
Grocery
the lineup.
sticks. Grocery sticks, dude.
Like Cole Caulfield, he, I don't know. Like in Robertson, I would have loved to see Robertson on that lineup. Like
Same.
they could score against the best goalies in the league. Like Caulfield kills Ottinger and Hellebuck, and like I don't know. You could to beat Binnington, like Caulfield could do that so easily. Like
Listen, once the men's games start, if they have trouble scoring, which they shouldn't, they have like elite scorers on the team. But if they have trouble scoring, this will absolutely be a topic. Like we're just gonna be like, okay, wouldn't you have liked to have a Robertson, Caulfield, DeBrincat even
right,
on the team?
yeah.
But after the Olympics, couple weeks trade deadline.
Okay.
So that'll be big, especially for you guys. It'll be big because you want to add. You probably want to add 1 or 2 pieces, and you might get rid of a goalie. For us, it's like we are fire
I don't think
sailing.
we're getting rid of anyone. I
Really?
think it's either we're gonna make one trade, which is like Line
Oh yeah, I think Laine's gone.
Line and or Struble out.
I think Laine's gone.
I don't think we're gonna be able to move a goalie.
You guys are retaining 50 on Laine, I heard.
Maybe. Oh, well, we're retaining.
50%.
And it's either that or nothing, because I mean, to fix the holes that we have in the lineup, it's just gonna take the prospects in our pool to come in, and also an opportunity over summer to make a trade.
I wonder if the Rangers would take a line on Laine. Because I think that the rumor is
he would go to the Rangers.
The rumor is the Habs would retain 50 and attach a pick to offload him.
What would we get from you though? That's the thing. I don't like anyone on your team right now.
But it's kind of like we're doing you a favor, though. You know.
I guess, but I think
I'm not saying we're doing Laine for Lafreniere with all those picks and things
personally,
attached,
I think Laine should at least get, like, after the break, he should get like 5 games in, like, or I don't know when the deadline is, but he should get some games in. He'll be ready after the Olympic break. So
and the reason I say maybe we take him. How many years is left on his deal? You know,
this is it.
This is it. I think he's a guy that could maybe get fans in the door to watch, like, oh, this guy's a shot. Maybe put him on a power play. You probably don't want to, because if that takes time away from some other guys, but if you put him on the power play too, give him some time, maybe that's a draw. And I don't think he helps you win games, so it's kind of like a win-win, you know?
Right.
Like if you have a guy who's known for his shot, maybe that's something, and if you're getting an asset with him, maybe that's something the Rangers look at.
Yeah, I mean, I hope we keep him, just because I know there's no room in the lineup, so it's a really complicated equation, and I rely on Hughes to figure it out, obviously. But, like, I mean, I wouldn't be so heartbreaking if he does leave. I would like him to stay somehow. I don't know. We have too many people, because Newhook's going to come back in March or something.
It's definitely been disappointing, his time.
I wouldn't say last year. He put up 22 goals or
something.
But
like, think about like what you thought you were getting.
I mean, I think
you knew it was a little bit of a down asset when you were getting it anyway, right? But
it's
just crazy. Like, right,
I didn't have high expectations.
Wasn't he the second or third pick overall for the Jets?
Yeah, second.
Second
after
behind Matthews. Yeah. So like, I just remember the hype around him, and then like not watching the Jets a ton, but knowing that he was out there and he was this like sniper and could just come down and rip shots, and then he went to Blue Jackets, right?
Yeah.
And it just seemed like
he
every
had a point
step
per game there.
He kind of was going down, but like the hype was still there.
The one thing I mentioned, like, I wanted the expectations going into the year was like just have a healthy season. So like they were already low.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he exceeded my expectations last year, I think. Even though he played 56 games around, his playoff performance was crap.
Well, yeah,
for sure. So, I mean, that's the only reason why
I think
I'm okay with him leaving, because when it comes to playoffs,
you'd rather have Newhook, right?
Rather Newhook and any other. I'd rather Veleno, honestly, because at least Veleno puts himself, at least at this point in time, he actually tries.
Yeah.
So and he could somewhat keep up defensively. So I don't know. It's a tough situation. I like Line for the culture, and I think the the guys love him as well.
Mhm.
And to be around, like, for Line to be around the young folk was good for him, and it is good for him. Like, they train really hard over summer together, like Hudson and Demi and Line, and it is discouraging to not be healthy after all that.
Yeah.
So kind of feel for him, but he'll play some games before anything happens. But I could see nothing happening as well. So,
I
and
don't.
we
I don't see that. You need to clear space.
yeah, I know.
Like, if you don't get rid of him, who do you get rid of, and who would you rather
probably
get rid of?
Struble.
But so,
Maybe
like,
both. I don't know
yeah. I
because
just think, like, if you're in the space of, like, all right, we're competing, we're second or third in the Atlantic, and we're making a run at this thing, like, you're not gonna be a favorite to win the cup, but, like, you want to win a round or two. You you got to
to
look
be honest,
around
I
and, like,
wouldn't.
what are you adding?
Now I think about it, like 2 years with Panarin would have been pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
No shit.
like
Yeah.
I would have like I don't know where he'd slot because we have too many wingers, but we'd obviously would have traded a winger to you guys, but maybe that's too close to home. And obviously, maybe Panarin didn't want to go to Montreal or a Canadian
Yeah,
city.
I didn't ever hear Montreal in the conversation, so I don't think so. But, like, I'm not saying you need to go out and take, like, a total home run swing, but I feel like there's moves to be made on the Canadian side. You'll hear more rumors as it
Well,
goes. Like Rob Thomas, you talked about a little bit,
yeah, so like
but they want a haul. They want, like,
yeah,
three
they
picks,
definitely want a haul for Rob
which I don't blame
Thomas.
them. Like, he's a
Like, but
staple.
that would secure us down the middle really well. I don't know how he is physically. I know he's a good disher, and just like one of the best centers in the league. But yeah, if we wanted him, we'd have to give up like Page or Zarkovsky in the first round, or like both of those guys and another pick like it'd be a lot. It'd be a lot. Because I know the Blues are looking for youth, and we kind of we not fleece them now. It kind of balanced out. Like Balduke has kind of died down a bit, and Malu still sucks. But
Yeah. I guess my thought is, like, you always talk about your defensive prospects. We've been doing this a long time, right?
yes, defenseman. Yes, I think we are on potentially Pareko, Colton Pareko
Okay.
from the Blues, and that would involve maybe also giving up one of okay, maybe not both, but one of Zarkovsky or Hage. A little less than Thomas but
Right.
Pareko would help secure our D line so well.
So this is where, like, you bring up Hage. That's and Zarkovsky is he in the KHL right now?
KHL,
He's okay. So
yeah.
those two are the premier prospects that you guys have that entice me as a
Yeah.
fan, because I was just thinking, like, we talk about a lot of these guys that are in Laval or whatever, and
No, it's those two that
and
are
I
our best
don't
prospects for
like
sure.
the other, like, I know you have a deep-ish D core, but, like, the names that you throw out at me, usually they don't really, like, if I'm the Blues,
You would like
or
Engstrom. If you had Engstrom on your
maybe, but
prospect
is
pool
that
and on
enough
your team.
to lure? Is that enough to get a team to, like, to trade one of their, like? So I'm thinking from my
No,
point of
that's
view,
not
right?
enough, but like he has a lot high upside.
Like Vincent Trocheck. Would you be interested in Vincent
No.
Trocheck? Why?
Old, injury prone.
He's not injury prone.
Yeah, he is. He was injured this year.
It's not injury prone though.
Is he not?
No,
I
no.
don't know. I don't know.
He is, because
Too much of a sacrifice. How much is he
Trocheck
left
is
on his
going
contract?
3 years, 5 million or so.
I could see it next year.
Center.
If it was happening next year, I would say yes because Gallagher and Anderson are going off a contract.
I'm just saying, I'm still very high on Trocheck getting traded. I'm still very high on that return being better than Artemi Panarin, because you can control where he goes. He has a partial no move, so there's a potential that Montreal's on and he can't go there anyway. But I know that a lot of teams and a lot of playoff contending teams look at the second or third center position that he plays for that number. They know exactly what they're getting with him. Like a hard, like we'll play hard. We'll keep you in games. He had a huge overtime goal against the Carolina Hurricanes a year or 2 years ago. And then I'm just thinking like, all right, what teams could use it? And you just said like, oh, we could use Thomas to really solidify our center depth. And I'm like, okay, well, we have a center. What would I want back? They would
It's
probably want a
probably
prospect,
yeah.
a player, and a first round pick. And then I'm like, would you guys get rid of Hage for that? And
Personally, I think Hage is off limits. I think he's gonna be good. He's a diehard Habs
here's
fan
the
for
problem.
life.
I have done this exactly sitting where you're sitting, where we're there and we just prospect hug, and those prospects turn into Brennan Othman, Lafreniere, who's like jury's out a little bit. Kako, we would not trade for like Gensel, right? So we were in on the Gensel sweepstakes, but we didn't want to give up Othman.
I'm willing to
Kako.
give up Zarkovsky because
It's just like,
we got our Russian star already.
You can't prospect hug
No,
too
okay.
much.
I am willing to give up Zarkovsky, and he's putting up numbers like Demidov did, so he does have really high value. He's definitely a blue chip prospect. So him,
We don't like the Russians on our team.
well, maybe not you, but I'm talking about the
else.
Blues or something.
Yeah.
And who would I rather get, Robert Thomas or Parayko? I mean, if we're trading Zarkovsky, honestly I would rather Parayko because like just to fix our D line to make it a little more mean and defensively sound.
When you guys
Like-
lose games, like what is it? It's usually goalie related, right?
It's defense and goalie related, yeah. Like,
But defense is a 6-man thing, right? Like it's how are the forwards
and also I don't know how I
defensively?
feel about Robert Thomas physically speaking. Like when it comes to playoffs,
He's hurt.
like yeah, when it comes to playoffs, I don't know. Does he have that extra edge to him? I have no idea how he is. But like for Parayko, I know he's a winner. That guy's like, he's really good. Big defenseman, right-handed. I think he's right-handed. And he's in the Olympics too. So that would be a great find for us. Like if we get him.
This team is gonna look so different.
So my proposal to the Blues would be, you mentioned NHL player, right? So Struble, Zarkovsky, first round pick, and maybe even a second or third for Parayko.
Not a lot. Is
I do it.
Parayko valued that highly? How old?
The
is he?
defenseman, like he's 32.
That's a lot to give up for a 32-year-old.
Okay, so maybe just second or first round pick, and that's it. So,
I think Rob Thomas.
but if you do that, what I propose for Rob Thomas, then yeah, that's like easily. But that's
But they're gonna want multiple firsts. They already said.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough. I mean, yeah. So like I think, like I said, Trocheck would get back a similar type of return. Like teams are gonna have to pay to get him, and it's gonna be a first, a prospect, and a player. I think.
It's either for our trade deadline is you're gonna be really surprised, or
Nothing will
not
happen.
surprised at all.
Well, the other thing is you have all these guys coming back. Like that's a mini deadline for yourself. Like that's a mini acquisition.
Like a not
already.
surprised is moving Line A or nothing and nothing
Yeah.
happens and that's it. Like we don't get any big acquisition and we basically
I
assume
feel like you
over
got to do
summer.
something though. Like it's a arms race at this point. Like you got to do something to solidify yourself.
I know, and I think we're missing out on tough. Like I know I'm talking like an old Hab fan,
Yeah.
but I'm just
wins
thinking
games,
playoffs.
though.
I'm
It
thinking
wins
playoffs.
games.
Like, yo, we got out muscled hard
By the Caps.
by the Caps. We need to secure ourselves defensively. And I'm also assuming we can't solve the goalie issue. Dobish is our number one, and he's just fine. Just keep him as our, and Monty's a good backup when he doesn't have that load.
Yeah.
So we're solving for defense. We solve that. We already have the forwards down. If we get a forward, are they skilled enough to keep up with also the physical toll of the playoffs? That's the main thing, because we don't want another floater like Line. Okay, we want someone that could get somewhat physically involved while having a mix of like good skill. So that's what we need to fill in the holes for playoffs. This year specifically, I don't know about next year, but this year we need to secure that somehow. And if not, then we run it with the team we have, and I have I don't have low expectations, but would I be surprised with a first round exit? No. So because they could get out muscled. I guess we got to play to our strengths, which is just pure skill, and fast scoring.
Right now, you would play the Red Wings first round.
Yeah, I mean, I love to say we take them. We outscore them.
You've been dominating them this year, right?
No, they beat us recently, though.
Really?
It's back and forth. We won and lost one. I think we lost another, but I mean, to finish up the before the Olympic break, we went 4-0-1. We beat Vegas 3-2. We dominated Colorado 7-3. We got our get back with Buffalo 4-2. We lost to Minnesota in OT. I think it was either 3-2 or 4-3. So we put up goals against good teams, and also to finish up, we beat Winnipeg 5-1. So we're putting up like a lot of goals. The question is, can the goalies keep up as they are? Can the defense shut it down and not let in as many goals against? And I mean, I'm pretty confident in our forwards, honestly. So, like, those are the main things.
It's going to be a big test after the Olympic break.
Yeah, because everyone's going to be fired up.
Fire? Yeah. Who can catch fire, though, right? You have like a month or two left of, like, it's like 20-something games. Like, if you can be the hottest team coming out of the Olympics, that just is a ramp into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it's quick-paced.
And I'm glad that, like, Hudson and Demi and even Caulfield are getting, like, some time off, because they'll recover off maybe some, like, minor injuries or sores. And then if Suzuki wins a gold, that would be, I think the ideal is Canada wins a gold, so then Suzuki is fired up leadership-wise to, finish up the season and bring us to the playoffs. I mean, I am really interested in the deadline, though, because if we get Parayko or a skill of Robert Thomas or someone else, like, that would be sick.
It's my favorite time of year for the season. Just the potential and the rumors, and, like, you're just checking Twitter and Reddit, like, nonstop. Like, oh my God, is it official? What's happening?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I hear Rangers and Canadians are in the works for a trade involving blah blah blah. You're like, oh, let's go! It's awesome. And it's usually a Friday, and I'm supposed to be working, and I'm just like.
Yeah, just refreshing.
Have insider trading on all day. Yeah, it's so good.
And hopefully Newhook comes back soon. I mean, he's gonna come back in March, roughly. He's had a good season, but where is he gonna slot in? We gotta trade Line or someone in the forwards line, because we got too many players. We got Texier. We signed Texier. So. We'll see. It's exciting, but we're going to see some different faces, I think. Or we'll just wave Line, basically.
That'd be crazy.
Like, we have to. We have to if Newhook's coming back, especially. So.
Yeah. Maybe last thing to talk about, unrelated, but potentially a future Ranger. We'll see if they win the lottery. Gavin McKenna got in the news a little bit the other day. So they had an outdoor game at Penn State, which was pretty cool. I don't know if you saw any of those pictures. Like good sweaters on both teams, and like very well attended.
Who they play?
I think it was Michigan State. Forget.
Probably Big Ten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so then that day or a day later or whatever, he was with his family, and some guy's like harassing them, and McKenna like cocks him, like knocks him out cold.
Yeah.
And at first
breaks his jaw.
Yeah, at first it was an aggravated assault charge, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, of course, like McKenna, you got to know, like, you are the star on this campus. You are making NIL money.
But if it's true that he stood up for his mother,
right? But it came out after that, like the guy was harassing them. They was calling his mom names. The charges were dropped. So like. Honestly, that makes me want this guy more.
Yeah, honestly, good on him.
At first, I'm like, oh my God, all right, now I don't want to win the lottery. And then it came out again. It's like, no, he's actually just being a good guy and protecting his
I thought,
people.
I was like, I was thinking, oh, dude, like you got in a drunk fight or
Yeah,
with someone.
yeah.
But then when I heard this, I'm like, oh, this is
Yeah,
better.
no, it's
Like,
awesome. It's awesome.
I'm like, yeah, this is gonna make a stock rise.
Yeah, honestly, just like willing to like think about like it's so hockey picture perfect. Like someone is harassing someone that you love, like on your team, let's say in life, and you have no qualms with just like, no, I'm gonna take this guy down.
Yeah.
That is like that's the energy you want.
And like, yeah, and put that on top of his skill. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah.
I want him so bad.
Now he's definitely a number one pick.
Yeah, we'll see. I saw a couple interviews with him. He seemed like a fairly well-spoken guy. Not the best I've seen, but like
Yeah.
seemed like he had a decent head on his shoulders. And apparently he's like fourth cousins with Bedard.
Yeah, no surprise there.
It's in the blood.
I mean, the hockey community is like that.
Or
though.
married,
Like,
whatever.
yeah, it's just like they all kind of train with each other, even then when they're like in their teens, like
Oh man, dude.
they have connections and stuff.
I
But
can't get myself worked up about it. There's no way they're getting McKenna.
well, you're still gonna get a decent pick. Like if you're in the top 10, which you're going to be, like
yeah.
that's a solid pick. Top 5 or 6,
Dude.
even better.
What's crazy is like I cannot believe the Leafs and the Devils are also just having a horrible season.
Yeah, I mean, I could.
It's insane.
I
The
could
Devils,
tell.
like, come on, what happened? Like they,
Sheldon Keefe.
yeah,
I don't know.
I
But
guess.
for the Leafs, I mean, the writing was on the wall. It was not. They blamed it on certain players.
I mean, that's another one. They
Marner,
lost one of their best scorers, even though they have two
coaching.
other guys. Yeah.
But it was maybe someone else. I don't know. Maybe it was Matthews or Nylander. Like they suck. I mean,
Yeah.
they're good, but like the locker room cohesion sucks.
I know. I want to go back to knowing that the locker room is fun and that the players love it. And it's just not the case
I don't know.
right now.
Make way for new teams to be more dominant for this decade.
guess.
Just we got Buffalo, we got Montreal. Like make way, guys. Like sorry, you can't keep up forever. So
Oh man.
sucks.
All right. Anything else?
No, I just
Olympics are underway. There's prelims for the women. The U.S. have been dominating. They beat Czech and Finland.
yeah. I mean, that's
Canada
expected.
played Switzerland yesterday. I didn't see the outcome, but I assume they won. And I'm excited for the men. It's gonna be next week.
Yeah,
like
I'm looking
11th,
out for
12th.
Slav. It would be cool because he's like, I think the only star player for his team. Like Chernak, you got Chernak and a couple other guys, but for the most part, it's mostly non-NHL players for Slovakia. So, but look out for obviously U.S., Canada, but I think Finland and Sweden, pretty solid squads, really good squads.
We'll see, right? Like I don't know how it will translate. The rules are a little different. Like there's no fighting. It's not gonna be the same exact thing as four nations facing off.
So more skill.
Maybe,
skill?
but usually, like what I'm used to with the Olympics is the ice size is bigger. So these Finnish and Swedish teams.
No, it's smaller this time.
No. Usually
it is bigger. Yeah.
So
yeah.
like that incentivizes the higher skill and the system. Like the Swedish and the Finns and all these European countries have like their own country system that
I see what
works
you mean.
really well, and people can just like kind of cycle in.
But Finland and Sweden, most of them are NHL players. All of them are NHL.
I know, but
players.
they all grew up in that system. Like they know it. You know what I mean? Like
But-
that's usually how it went. But now that the ice is smaller and it's gonna be
No,
less
but
of
I
that.
think they're on the same page with Canadians and USA players
What-
because they've
what-
been playing the NHL.
Right, but what I mean is like the Finnish national team, the Swedish, they have a specific system that they run throughout their national development, and a lot of these players that are in the NHL now that are Swedish and Finnish grew up with that,
Okay.
and so when they go back and play for their country every year or whatever it is, and then play for the Olympics, it's kind of just like there's a cohesion there.
When did they play for their country? Except for
It could
the
be when it
Olympics.
could be. I mean, if they go back for the World Championship or
I still think they're used to the NHL.
Of course, I think of course they are, but I think in previous years they had a little bit of a leg up because they're back on a big rink that they grew up playing on.
I
If they're
see.
in
Okay, I
different
see what you
leagues
mean.
and back in a system that they understand and like can kind of just cycle in. But it might tip more to the players. I mean, I agree. They're
You
used to the
think more
NHL
injuries
now.
could happen because it's a smaller rink, or like
More
goals?
injuries?
You think
No.
more goals or less goals would happen? I think because there's less space, there's more pucks being taken away. So
I just feel like having
maybe
it
more
having
goals.
it that much wider, like the Olympic ice used to be. I want to see that again. It's annoying that we can't see
Yeah,
that.
why did they do like
This
who is
isn't the
it?
first year either.
Who's
I'm
in
pretty
charge
sure,
of making the
dude.
rinks? They really screwed up.
The IOC and yeah, it's bad.
Is Bettman even involved in those conversations?
No,
Probably not, right?
he's involved in like, hey, this is what we are agreeing on, but he's not the one like building it.
Okay, well, Italy screwed up.
Yeah.
So
Well, whatever. It looked fine. I watched a couple of the women's games. Like, can't really tell.
yeah, but
If you
it's
look, like
women's
maybe
games.
this. Well, that's fair. They're a lot smaller. But just like as far as the ice surface looked, like the neutral zone, maybe if you're really looking for it, looked a little smaller. Behind the nets looked fine. Like it was all right, but it'll definitely look different with men because they'll be, twice the size of the women playing.
Yeah, I saw yesterday there was it was like it looked like okay, one of the women did like a hit on the board, and I'm like, yeah, that's an NHL hit, but they got a penalty.
Yeah,
It was a legal
yeah.
hit.
So
like,
there's no hitting though.
How is it gonna work for the men?
So this
is it just no hitting for women?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So typically women's ice hockey there's no hitting, but then with this latest PWHL league, that line has gotten so blurred to the fact that like no, there's pretty much hitting as long as it's not like a dangerous or like a complete blow up of a hit. They along the boards especially there's hitting like
Yeah.
that's and I think that's great for the game. Like these girls are
They're
insane
capable.
athletes.
Yeah, they're capable
and strong, and it's clear that like it's closer to the men's game now than it ever has been. But going back to the Olympic rules, it's strictly no hitting, and I think there's going to be a little bit of a transition for some of these girls playing in the pro women's league that like have to be like, oh yeah, I forgot, I actually can't, or else it'll be penalized, like you said.
I'm just thinking like, how are they for the men's? Like, how are they not gonna fight? Like
Yeah,
these guys want to win.
it'll just be broken up immediately.
They're just gonna compensate it with just
And it'll
massive
be like
hitting.
it'll be probably just like a scrum instead of a drop the gloves like big type of thing. But that's the part of any tournament. Like as a coach and as a former player, like
It's
in
been
youth,
12
like you gotta.
years since the last. Like these guys
I
are
know.
going to be fired up.
Yeah, well, of course, but like any tournament that you play in growing up has like specific rules. So like even if you're playing a certain way all year, you'll get to a tournament like the one we were at in Montreal. Like the penalties were a little bit different. Like the offsides rule, because it's youth, like it was delayed offsides, not automatic offsides. Like there's little things that you just have to be able to tweak as a player, and these pros can handle it.
Yeah,
It's just like,
yeah.
and I agree, they're going to be jacked up. But
yeah, it's gonna be interesting how they handle the emotions and
it's going to be awesome.
It's gonna be fun.
It's been, like you said,
It's been
12
way too
years.
long.
Yeah.
Way too long. Carey Price was last in net to win in Sochi, and Marty was on the team.
That's crazy.
Marty was on the winning team.
I feel like Marchand is this Canadian team's Marty. He's like the old wily vet that has never made the team, and now he's on
Yeah,
it,
I guess so. Yeah.
and he's smaller.
The biggest vet. Yeah, I would. Yeah, because Crosby, obviously.
But Crosby makes it every year. Like this is Marchand's first Olympics.
To be honest, I think Doughty should not be there.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he's had his time. He's not like Marchand.
Who do you fill in though?
There's plenty of Canadian D line. I mean, I
Oh,
would
Chikrin. I would put Chikrin. Actually.
Chikrin, yeah. Or even just play Parayko, like because Parayko right now is an extra.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be great. I obviously predict Canada winning just because their lineup is just too intimidating.
I think they're the team to beat. We'll see how the U.S. plays, but I think there's a lot of just
we got
all that
Cooper behind the net.
all that nonsense
bench.
around them not taking Robertson and Caulfield. Like, I think that might come to haunt them. But
and also the question is the goalie. If you beat the goalie, like if we could get in the goal, if the U.S. or any team could get in the goalie's
if Binnington
head,
plays like Four Nations, like there's not.
Yeah, but if
There's
he
no
plays like normal Binnington,
Yeah,
then
that's
we're
fair.
cooked.
That's fair.
So
It's hard to play like normal Bennington when you have an all-star roster in front
That's
of you.
true. That
And
is
not a
true.
bad
You
Blues
feel
team.
very confident with those guys in front.
Yeah, I would. Maybe not Doughty.
Maybe not Dowdy, but everyone else is perfect.
All right, we babbled long enough. I think that's it.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, for watching.
Thank you. We'll be back with a Olympic update, I think, in a week or two.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds great.